The show starts as we see a few thugs thrashing a kid called Jin. He's been harassed for quite a while, however right now, Jin couldn't withstand anything else and utilizes all that he needs to retaliate. He beats all of them, and as he is going to polish them off, his mom shows up and stops him. His mom quickly brings him back home and began to prepare him in the event that he faces such sort of circumstance once more. Soon thereafter, one of the domineering jerks' dad showed up in Jim's home, shocked in light of how Jim treated his child. Shockingly, his mother advises him to apologize to the man, despite the fact that it was really the man's child that began the battle. Jin needed to comply with his mother and apologize, however the man continued to be a jerk as he truly needed to show him a thing or two for attacking his child. As he is going to assault, Jin's mother unexpectedly steps in and punches the man to obviousness, ordering the kid to bring his dad back home. After few seconds, when Jane and his mother were having a discussion, an evil presence showed up before their home. After seeing the evil presence, Jin's mother made him vow not to take off from the house regardless of what befalls her, and she figures out how to be hurt. He ought to get away to his granddad's place. Jin's mother experiences the house and goes on a one-on-one battle with the devil. Regardless of how she attempted, she was no counterpart for this evil presence. As the devil overcomes and was going to kill her, Jin couldn't do as she taught and goes out to help his mom, however his blows wasn't powerful to the evil spirit. As the devil pivots to hurt Jin, she chose to draw the evil presence to a gas chamber inside their home, and when she baits the evil spirit sufficiently close, she opens the gas chamber, which makes the entire spot detonate, killing Jin's mom simultaneously. Jin chose to satisfy his guarantee to his mom and went to the city to search for his granddad. Jin effectively found his granddad, who is known as Hayate Mishima, who was even disturbed to see him. All things considered, he advises Jin to battle him. Jin is reluctant right away, however when Mishima began going after him, the youthful youngster must choose the option to retaliate and guard himself. Jin gets effectively crushed by Hayate Mishima, who advises him to leave since he's frail. Jin denies as he should figure out how to battle so he can overcome the green evil presence that killed his mom. At the point when his granddad hears this, he knows it's no one else than an animal called the orc. Out of nowhere, he chose to prepare him, however first he should substantiate himself commendable regardless of whether it destroys him right away. Hayate Mishima began to prepare Jin in an exceptionally merciless manner to get him arranged to battle the orc that killed his mom. The preparation is about Jin utilizing just his hands to battle, while Hayaki should involve his entire body in the battle. After their preparation that day, a dealer visited them to offer a truly important thing to them called the Chang's Pendant. Promptly the man gives the cost for the thing. Hayato finds that the man is attempting to swindle them and advises Jin to show the merchant a thing or two. The man is now with a blade when Jin began to battle him. After a long battle, Jin crushed the vendor, and by the sets of Hayaki, he knocked out the man off with a couple of punches. Hayaki sees Jin's wavering in the battle and lets him know that dithering is a shortcoming, and that was the very motivation behind why his mom passed on, and assuming he proceeds with that way, he will likewise lose his own life. Hayachi meets with his collaborator and advises her to give the pendant to a researcher so they can look at the pendant, as he accepts. The pendant identifies evil spirits like the orange and needs to determine from a researcher in the event that it truly works. His collaborator likewise answered to him concerning how their contenders have been disappearing as of late. Jin abruptly becomes inquisitive to be familiar with the missing contenders, contemplating whether they faced a similar outcome like his mom. Yet, Hayate lets him know that what he ought to be centered around is his phases of preparation, and chosen to proceed with Jin phases of preparation on the most proficient method to battle. This time Hayate turned out to be more merciless and rough and lets Jin know that just when he is crushed, really at that time will he end the preparation. Following 4 years of escalated preparation phases, Jin has full grown and he has become more capable and more grounded, yet has a long way to go. Hayaki is anticipating opening the Ruler of Iron Clench Hand competition so he can utilize it to draw the orange out so Jin can battle with it as a challenger to have his retribution. Hayaki finished the preparation, however Jin out of nowhere pivots to battle him as that is what he would have needed. Yet Hayaki crushed him and continued to call Jin frail and despicable. The irate Jin unexpectedly calls areas of strength for within him, and as he runs towards Hayaki in speed, he releases a sort of lightning procedure when made him to land a blow on Hayaki for the absolute first time, which stuns the gathering. He regarded his lord as expected after the preparation and disappears. As per his lord directions, he goes on an excursion to Peru where they hold the Iron Clench Hand competition. Quickly he arrives at Peru. He is joined by Hockey Right Hand, who exhorts him not to at any point uncover his way of life as a Mishima in light of the fact that there are loads of contenders out there who can successfully kill somebody from the Mishima family. A contender called Warum appears and we see a prompt strain between them as it is uncovered that they were the two foes previously. Different contenders likewise showed up, however they generally expected to save all their energy for the competition. En route to the Iron Clench Hand competition, Jin began to make explores and read old articles to understand what he can figure it out. Who aren't sees his interest and murmurs to Jin that bits of gossip have been going all over the town concerning how Heihachi killed Kazuo Emishima in the Iron Clench Hand competition in those days. Kazuo Emishima is Jin's dad. A warrior who was paying attention to what they were talking about tells Jin that Kazuo is an extremely terrible individual and truly had to die. Following a couple of hours, the warrior effectively showed up at the Iron Clench Hand field. Jin goes to converse with his granddad Heihachi, who truly accepts that the monstrosity cannot avoid the competition. Yet, Jin guarantees his granddad that he will succeed at all expense. Abruptly, Jin raises the subject concerning what befell his dad Kazuo Emishima in the Iron Clench Hand competition in those days, yet Heihachi advises him to disregard the past and spotlight on the competition. The occasion at long last begun and Heihachi, who is the host of the competition, invites the heroes and sets up a party for their sake. Jin goes to talk covertly with one of the contenders called Nina Williams since he is curious as to whether she saw the battle among Kazuya and Heihachi. Nina exhorts him that family has a great deal of dim past and tells him never to get blended in with that sort of family. Not knowing it's really Jin's loved ones. Another warrior called Phoenix was paying attention to what they were talking about and started to think why Jin is so inquisitive to be aware of the Mishima family. Phoenix gets Jin consideration by informing him concerning his dad Kazuya, whom he portrays as a mean knave. As Phoenix recounts to him the story, a flashback is shown. At the point when we saw Heihachi and Kazuya battling, we perceived how detestable Kazuya is as he loses Heihachi the bluff. This act ought to have killed Heihachi, however he figures out how to assemble himself and battled with Kazuya once more. Phoenix communicates that he wouldn't be truly stunned assuming Heihachi killed Kazuya. His child Jin later meets Heihachi Mishima and questions him in the event that he truly killed his dad. Heihachi sees how inquisitive Jin is to know reality, conceded that he truly killed his dad, and furthermore uncovers his own side of the story on how inhumane his dad is. He makes sense of that his dad Kazuya claimed a presentation quality which gives Kazuya limitless strength and powers, yet it impacted his psyche, making him evil. Jin then, at that point, out of nowhere acknowledges why his mom never enlightened him anything regarding his dad. Next episode starts as we see a warrior called Ling Xiaoyu who is upsetting Jin as he attempts to contemplate. She illuminates him that his battle is straightaway, so he actually needs to get himself arranged. He will be battling an exceptionally strong fighter known as Leroy Smith. Few moments later, the battle everybody has been sitting tight for at long last begun. Jin Kazama vs Leroy Smith. As the battle starts, we figure out that Leroy Smith is a brilliant contender as Jin was truly attempting to shield his blows. Be that as it may, as he continues to recall his mother, it motivated him to continue to battle. Interestingly, Jin figures out how to thump down Leroy to the ground and after a couple of additional beatings, Jin tells him that the battle is finished. Yet, the furious Leroy will not surrender in the battle, which gives Jin no decision except for to break his leg overcoming the unfortunate contender. Jin is subsequently pronounced as the champ, yet regardless of his triumph, he actually had an irritated outlook on Leroy who would have rather not surrendered in the battle. He tells Huawei that Leroy was battling like for what seems like forever relies upon it. The following rivals to battle is Ling Xiaoyu vs Nina Williams. Jin encourages Ling to be cautious since Nina is a recruited executioner, yet Ling didn't mind as she is sure about the battle. Jin goes to Heihachi and beseeches him not to permit Ling to battle since she's simply a teen. However, Heihachi answers saying that the examination among him and Ling is that she has an arrangement as opposed to feeling frustrated about herself. The battle starts between Ling Xiao and Nina Williams. It was an extremely intense battle between the rivals, yet with procedure, Ling Xiaoyu crushed Nina with a knockout. Jin, who felt remorseful on his battle with Leroy Smith, chose to visit him to realize how he's doing. Leroy considers Jin one of Roughage Hachi's canines, yet Jin lets him know that he isn't one of Feed Hachi's men, that he has an individual explanation of battling in the competition. Leroy illuminates Jin that Hello Hachi is utilizing him like he is utilizing every other person. During their conversation, Feed Hachi appears and advises Jin to prepare for his next battle. Rather than burning through his experience with a man like Leroy, he reminds Jin that the best way to retaliate for his mom's passing is to kill the orange. After few seconds, the following quarrel is over to start as Jin is to battle with Huawei. At the point when the battle at last began, Jin reviews everything his mom said to him about not enjoying overcoming somebody. Out of nowhere, Jin decisively crushed Hua safe and sound on his body and offers to get him a beverage to keep up with their fellowship. Yet, this main makes Hikachi enraged as Jin didn't overcome Hu aren't in a merciless manner. Next episode starts as we see Ling Xiaoyu battling Ruler. Yet, Lord figures out how to overcome Ling by taking her out. Ling Xiaoyu is severely injured in battle, so Jin hustles to keep an eye on her injuries until he affirms she's okay. Jin uncovers to Ling Xiaoyu concerning his motivation of battling in the competition, which is to retaliate for his mom's passing.